Hello, traders. It is Saturday morning, October 10th, 2015, and welcome to another viewing of the Weekend Trader. Welcome to my trading office, by the way. As you look around, we've not talked about this much. I think I did a tour a couple of years ago on camera, but we are in Cape Cod. We are in the lower level of my home. It is a trading office, trading den. A bit of a cave, branches out to the left of me here, and I think we did a tour on this a couple of years ago. But you see a lot of nautical themes, a lot of bamboo themes from our bamboo days. Just a nice place for me to come down and work in isolation, reflect. And I asked last week, first of all, whether you thought that these were worth continuing doing. I said I didn't want to waste your time, my time. Lots of us have lots of things we can do on a weekend. And I appreciate the response, which overwhelmingly was please, keep doing them. And I have to do this to some extent anyway. And where this helps me is it disciplines me to come down on a Saturday morning, think about what I did well, what I did not so well, and talk through that. And to the extent that I do that and somewhat be accountable to you folks on camera, then great. It goes back to the roots of our blog. Not necessarily on a daily basis, but at least on a weekend basis. And while the week was good, there's a lot that I can continue to do better. We'll talk about that. So anyway, we'll keep doing these and go from there. Continued thanks for the interest in where we're going with the trader funding effort. I'll keep everybody posted. It'll now get to more to an individual level. If I touch base with you, it'll be more individually. Have a wonderful sample size, wonderful group of interested people. And I won't belabor that point much at all. I also just recently tweeted what for me was a very humbling review on Amazon of the Chronicle site from a fellow named Chris, and that really generated some thought at this end in terms of as I bring up a couple of things on my screen here. In terms of things I thought we could focus on, things where I'm currently focusing on my own trading. And just a quick blurb of that, and the part that struck me was toward the end, where it says you have to want it more, and yes, it's hard but doable. Where passion, perseverance are key, and I'll let you read that. There's a link on Twitter, and I'll post it in the blog here. But where he got me, again, was this how bad do you want it comment, and that was a theme. Certainly, it's been a theme throughout the blog. It's been a theme throughout the book, and it continues to be a theme. The same gentleman emailed me on the 9th, which was yesterday morning, and asked why I was up at or noticed that I was up at 2 a.m. Eastern, likely preparing for the 3 a.m. Open in Europe, and yes, I was, and if I seem a little tired, draggy this morning, it's because I do get very little sleep on MATD's morning after trend days, where I continue to see time after time after time of such predictable rhythm. And I've said this before, the Europe time zone. My goodness, what a wonderful time zone to be trading in. And so I have to adjust my hours a little bit to get the optimal trading sequences. The fish are biting. It's smooth sailing. Got to be out there at that time. Got another comment from a friend of mine on the West Coast of the States, who happened to get my tweet about MATD around the same time, early in the morning anyway, and it spurred him to get up and place a trade and bought ES just under 2,000 as it was hitting the supports from Thursday afternoon. And that is what this is about, and it's a question I have to continue asking myself: how bad do I want it? There are times when I want it really bad, and I'm climbing that mountain, or to go back to the analogy we used a few years ago, digging out of that hole. Remember, the idea is to come in, for me anyway, to come in to every month feeling I have to dig to the surface out of this hole. If you remember the pictures in the book and the pictures in the blog, and so every month starts like that for me. And so sometimes I feel extra motivated to do that. Sometimes I don't. You've seen that throughout the course of the blog. And so it always remains a challenge for me. So, especially the older I get, I'm 54 now, and it's not as easy for me to get up at 3 in the morning to take advantage of those opportunities. Thankfully, Europe gave us a wonderful opportunity. It was about 4 a.m. 4:30ish. So the time wasn't quite so bad in terms of getting that optimal location. But that's what this business is about. It's about how bad do we want it. For those that are new to this video and the blog and the book and all that kind of stuff, and I recognize there are some, I encourage you to go back through the blog. There's a link top left corner of this page that shows you or that gets you to the older formatted blog, which has many more posts than what I was able to put in the book. In the book, we took a subset of what I thought was particularly relevant in terms of capturing the overall view of a trader in a trader's life. But there's so much more beyond that, and the information that's out there, it's free. Please, I encourage you to read through that if you found the book helpful, if you find these things helpful. I've often thought about just stopping the blog because I've always felt what's been said has been said. But as markets continue to evolve, perhaps, and as we continue to evolve as human beings, I do think, at least based on feedback, that there's value. So anyway, I encourage you to do that if you're new to this. What else do I want to talk about? Where is Don in his current journey? Don's on a personal journey right now, which is a $10 million journey in trading. It's as serious as I took the $1 million journey. It's done a little bit more in private. It's done in terms of not blogging on a daily basis. I found that the higher I ramp up the stakes and the goals, the more focused I need to be, especially as I get older. So I'm not able to write diary entries and blog and all that kind of stuff. But it's an effort that I'm taking very seriously, and it's not. Please understand, it's a carrot. It's one of the many carrots. I have the scorecard, which I'll also post a link to, and I'll post a downloadable file for you folks that haven't seen this before. It's also in the book. The scorecard is totally non-numeric, non-financially based, and I believe, and I've seen this in my own trading, that if you meet those specific goals and you tailor the scorecard to what you do well and what you don't do so well, so that you can encourage yourself to focus on these areas. If you do well in that, then the numbers will follow. But at the same time, I have a number target. Okay, it's not to have all the toys at the end. It's just a target to drive me. And it's more though the using the golf analogy. You have a target score in your mind, but you're not focused on the score as you're executing your shots. And the scorecard helps us execute our shots. And so I will post a link to the downloadable Excel scorecard as well. I'll also download or put a PDF link up as well for you to do that with as you please. There's a chapter in the book on that, and there's lots of stuff in the blog on that as well. So I still use that as a very core principle for all the live jelly programs we do. Jellyfish. Let's talk a little bit about that. I haven't used that term much lately. It's in the book. It's really a two-tone belief, if you will. The most important from a trading perspective is the ability, as we said last week, to surrender your will. When you look at the jellyfish creature, the jellyfish has to feed on wherever the ocean, wherever the currents set it at. Okay, it can't swim on its own. It has no self-propulsion ability, so it's forced to align itself with the market, and it has to with its market, right, with its environment, and it has to feed off of wherever it is. And I've never been able to think of a better analogy to the description of a trader in terms of how one has to morph day to day to day, year to year to year, and get in tune and dance with the markets and feed off of, as I often say, the menu that's presented for you. When you're in an Italian restaurant, you don't order French, you don't order American, you order Italian. Okay, otherwise you shouldn't be at the Italian restaurant. You're at a French restaurant. There's got to be a French menu. When it's a trend day, you got to trade it like a trend day, and when it's the day after the trend day, you don't trade it like a trend day. It'd be like being in an Italian restaurant and trying to order French. I have a wonderful joke. I love my mother, okay, but I have a wonderful joke that I might have told publicly before. I know I've told the jelly students. I said one day we were driving past a pizza house, and my mother, God love her, says something to the effect of, I hear that's a good place there, but they're not known for their fish. At which point my wife and I just bust out laughing. In terms of, yeah, that's because they're a pizza restaurant. And so again, back to the whole jellyfish idea. It's a cute phrase, if you will. It's though intended on a very serious level to describe what we need to do as traders, and however you trade, whatever you use. If you use technical analysis and moving averages and momentum indicators or volume profile or any of this stuff or some combination, it's all about aligning yourself with what the market is doing. And then surrendering your will to that market. It's something that I continue to challenge myself with and be challenged by. It is so very easy when as traders we must be confident. And to some people that may come across as arrogant, but to be successful in any endeavor, you have to be confident. You have to show confidence. You have to exude confidence. You have to breathe confidence, exhale confidence. Okay, but it's a fine line between confidence and cockiness. So you can't mix the two. But it is just so important to be confident, yet also surrendering one's will so that the market can pay you. Okay, you got to view it as you're not paying yourself. The market is paying you. You are positioning to align with that market move. And I go back to Europe again. What happens on MAT, morning after trend day? You've got Asia sequences, Europe sequences. I've tweeted so much and written so much and talked so much about this. But it's a natural flow. I prefer to be trading with the prior day support to the extent possible, which is exactly what was happening as Europe was opening. And so you've got to be there. You've got to be there to get the wholesale entry and then let the market do its thing. And it's that second part which is an area where so many of us fail. Let the market do its thing. Once we position, and I was telling the guys I was trading with this week, I said, I'm always firing my exit trader. And what do I mean by that? I mean it's the guy who is making the exit trades, or the part of my brain that is doing that, because go to Trading 101. People like to lock in profits, especially those who scalp and that kind of stuff. But the idea is to align with the market and let the market pay you. You've done all that work to align. You've perhaps got on very little sleep because you wanted to be there for that opportunity. You've got the fish on the line. Okay. You got to let nature take its course. You've got to let the market take its course. So that's the whole idea behind the jellyfish phrase. There's also some spiritual connotations behind it. Phil Vischer of Veggie Tales, and I talk about that a little in the book. I won't get into that today. But it's the requirement that we actually combine a confidence level with a surrendering level, and the jellyfish analogy is something that I will continue to use because I think it very well describes what we're trying to do as traders. Okay. What else? I think we're in a wonderful market in terms of opportunity, but opportunity must always align with execution. Some spots this week where I know I could have executed better. I could have been more focused, as well as the Friday sequences went. There was one particular sequence Friday afternoon. We were all expecting a bit of that closing bump as we were sitting on hourly support, and the market was in what I call IIAGD mode, which is if it ain't going down, which leads to polar POLR, which is the path of least resistance, which is up, and again let the market do its thing. So a bit of some chop late on Friday when we were trading. That was something I could have traded a little bit better. I was profitable, but something that probably pressed a little bit harder than I normally would on a Friday afternoon after a very, very good week. So anyway, this continues to be about what we can do collectively to push ourselves. Please, the numbers are all relative in terms of my goals versus your goals. Never underestimate the potential that you may have, that your business may have, that your life may have. I think that we are so conditioned to be beaten down in this world. The news seems to be 90% negative. Social media has its corner out there, and it's easy to get dragged down, and it's easy to think that we can't do this, or we can't be successful, or we can't be confident while being humble. And really the answer is the exact opposite. It's about being the light, and it's about being all that you can really be, to use the crazy Army saying from years and years ago. And that's what this is about to me. That's why I love trading. It's why I love working with people, interacting with people. It's what can we do collectively to strengthen each other, as I started talking about at the beginning of the video. And that's where it makes this worthwhile. I think staying in a corner of your office, staying in a basement somewhere, no windows, locking yourself down. I do believe that you can maintain incredible focus there, and you've got to be focused over the course of the trading hour in the trading day. And for some like me, often that's how you have to do it. That's why I'm very careful of where I trade publicly right now. I'm trading alongside a great group of guys. We're able to be multiple sets of eyes and ears like we've done with the jellies. It's wonderful. I'm there as a trader. I'm not there as a mentor, as a teacher. But it's beyond that. And I'm very blessed with the opportunity to be able to connect with many of you. I'm continuing to learn from you. When I need to be taken down a notch, you take me down a notch. When I need that little boost, you're there for that boost. And I just want to put a thank you shout out there. As much as I try to give back, I think I get as much, if not more, back from doing these silly videos over the weekend than is the other way around. Then that's how I feel. So anybody interested in a live jelly program, we're going to do one early next year again. The way I do this, again, if there's still interest and there's 10 people or so doing it or wanting to do it, then I'll just go ahead and schedule it. So if you're interested, just email me. I won't belabor the point. I'm not here to sell that. So think about this week. As this week evolves, and we've done this before, think about going into the week with your picture-perfect trade. Visualize it, plan for it, stock it, trade it well, trade it hard. Okay? And then email me after the week's over with your sequence. Okay? If nothing else, to push you to that goal. Okay? You're going to provide me, what the pattern was. It's got to be a real trade. Can't be on sim. Okay? Real trade, real capital. You got to disclose. It'll be all done in confidence at this end. Okay? But you got to disclose it all to me because I got to know it's real. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go into this week stocking that one trade, that one good trade, as has often been said by many people better than me, and go from there. And then let's revisit that. Let's reunite here next weekend and compare notes. How's that sound? Anyway, thought for the week. Use that to motivate you. Had a great weekend. Have a great trading week. We'll catch you later. Take care. Bye.